Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to turn any iPhone image into a cover. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so for this cover we're going to be using 1am because they did drop these pics or whatever. So we're going to be using these right here. Let me just show you guys these. So the idea I have for this is to basically kind of black and white the whole image and keep the red leather seats. That's kind of like the style we're going for here. So if you guys have some similar pictures where there's like colored seats or whatever like that, this is gonna be a perfect video to follow along with. If not, I'm gonna be showing you guys different techniques that you guys can use in all of your cover art. All right, so the document size you want to go ahead and get is a 3000 by 3000 pixel. That's what I like to use personally. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and press Alt backspace. That will just make the background black. We're gonna go ahead and drag our pictures in. So the main image I'm gonna be working with is obviously gonna be this one. So we're just gonna go ahead and kind of work on that vision where everything is black and white except for the seats. I think that's just a really sick idea. All right, so basically the whole idea, like I said before, is to kind of black and white him and everything but the red interior. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and grab this black and white filter. And on this layer mask, basically, if you guys are new to Photoshop and you don't know what layer mask is, basically it's kind of like eraser. That's how I see it. That's how a lot of people should see it. How it works is basically over here we have our brush color. So you want to go ahead and click on your brush and just press B, and you can press around. All right, so the black brush means that you're erasing the black and white basically, and then the white means you're bringing it back in. So that's like the best way I could put it. What we're going to do is get the black brush and we're going to hold Alt and press backspace, and that will get rid of all of the black and white. And what this will do is it will allow us to have a bit more control over it. So we're just going to get rid of all the color everywhere but the red. That's kind of like my idea right now. With these two images, what I want to do basically is kind of create like a collage kind of look. So yeah, you could have the image like right here. You could rotate it a little bit, have it like here. Boom. You can also just Control U, bring saturation down. So Control U is literally just the hue and saturation. So just in case you guys don't know, I'm gonna try and slow down a little bit for you guys, just so if you're new to this shit, you can really just get into it as fast as possible. But yeah, we're going to do the same thing over here for this image. We're going to put this here and we're going to bring it down a little bit. But yeah, we're going to do the exact same thing. So Control U, we're going to, bring the saturation on that down. Now, to kind of color correct this a little bit, we're going to go ahead and grab a gradient map. Obviously, we're going to have it black and white, but we're going to put that to overlay, just to kind of give it a more darker look. We're also going to bring a curves in, so we're going to bring the darks down a little bit. So on the left side we're going to make a point, just drag it down a little bit. Go to the right side, bring the brightness up a bit too. Now I am missing like a bit of color here I forgot to get rid of. But now what we can do with these kind of images here, we can go ahead and grab some paper textures. Now you guys can go ahead and find them on Google and shit like that. But yeah, I will be going ahead and using my ultimate mix media pack which has all of these paper textures and different kind of textures for different kind of looks. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and make a little border around these and come up with a little fire look. So something like this. What you can do is bring the layer down and you can clip it onto you can either clip it into the kind of picture, or you can kind of have it outside. What you can do is you can click on this little square button here with the circle in it. That's the layer mask. You can grab your brush and you can just erase some parts here, just like so. And you want to keep adding some new variations into it. You don't want to keep adding the same texture over and over. But yeah, we're gonna do the same thing, just get rid of these little borders here. And another thing we can do is right here where there's like basically the pictures coming through, what we can do is actually erase these parts. So we can get another layer mask and we can just erase these parts like right here, just get a nice clean look. yeah, that's all this is really. Just, you know, finding a nice really clean look. Yeah, we're just gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna do one the next one too, but I'm just gonna speed this part up. But yeah, we can make these really sick looks, and even to add on to the, you know, mixed media effect, we can even go ahead and create some like sketch outlines, I guess. Even drag this above it all. We're gonna grab a white brush, more of a hard brush, like pretty hard, you know.
Hey,
Pause. Tree maybe. Alright, tree is probably good. So basically what we're gonna do is you probably seen it in summers, you know, cover arts and shit like that. But we're gonna basically just draw around the subject. So something like this. Like just scribble around. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like that's the whole point of it, is kind of like look like a 5-year-old drew it. But yeah, just like create some sick outlines. Just all around the picture. Even around the border of the image here. Like that. Even around the car. Around him. You know, just make a really sick outline of the image you're using. So whatever that looks like for you, you know, go ahead and do that. And don't worry if it's messy. Like, we're gonna obviously bring the opacity down just to make it look a bit cleaner. But yeah, this the whole point of it, just to kind of look messy and shit like that. Just get really sick kind of style. And you guys can also change the color of this as well. It doesn't have to be white. But just because it's, you know, black and white and red, you know, we're just gonna use white for the, you know, outline brush. So something like this is really, really nice. So we're gonna bring the opacity or the fill down just a little bit, to the point where you can see it but you can't really see it, if that makes sense. So something like that is really, really nice. Now what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna go into my ultimate adjustment pack and go ahead and kind of find some different like styles or like variations of this. Basically I'm just trying to get something really, really fire, really hard for this, because I think this is a really, really sick like cover. I'm not gonna lie, like no glaze or anything like that, but yeah, we're just gonna put it right there. We'll make that group. We'll put underneath this. This is just how I like to do it. I like to just filter through these and, you know, kind of find something that matches. Now this is a really sick look, I'm not gonna lie. That's really sick too. Woo, I might use this. But yeah, if you guys do want to go ahead and, you know, check this pack out, you can get really sick effects, really sick looks like this in literally seconds. Like, you don't really have to think about it, you know. You can get inspired by this shit. This saves a lot of time, and it's a really, really good way to get inspiration for different ideas. This will spark a lot of different ideas for you guys for sure. Now last thing I'm gonna do is really just add the parental advisory. You can even add some new ones. Like, I was looking at some new parental advisories as well, like this one right here, kind of grunge one. We could use this, like that would be hard. Put that like right there. We can even bring the lightness up on this, have it right there. Like that would be sick, not gonna lie, that would be fucking crazy. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Like, I really fuck with this a lot. Only thing I would change is probably like down here, it's a bit dark. So what we can do is actually bring the brush up and just tap right here, make like a soft white layer. We can put that to overlay and get this really sick look. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe. Also comment down below what you want to see next. Join up the Discord too. We're gonna be running like competitions and all that for, you know, designers and shit like that. You know, it's a good way to network too. But yeah, peace.